Hello, my name is Zach Cromall, and I'm here to share the transportation elements of the proposed McLean Comprehensive Plan Amendment with you. Transportation is an important part of a comprehensive plan. The plan describes both a vision of how the transportation network should function and specific recommendations for improving infrastructure. When there are proposed land use changes, like in McLean, there can be changes in transportation demand that merit adjustments to the transportation vision or infrastructure. This chart summarizes the land use in McLean today, what is enabled under the current comprehensive plan, and what would be enabled under the proposed plan. But before we talk about the future transportation needs associated with these land uses, we need to establish a transportation baseline for McLean with the existing land uses. Where are people going? How are they getting there? And what is the transportation infrastructure like today? This map shows the current condition of sidewalks and trails in the CBC area. Blue lines represent facilities that meet or exceed the current VDOT standard, 5 feet, while those in orange are built to an older, narrower standard and do not. Red lines represent roadsides without a sidewalk or trail. For usage, pedestrian volumes at the primary intersections during the day mostly range from 50 to 200. So that's roughly a pedestrian every 5 to 15 minutes. This data was collected in May of 2018, so what you see today may be a little different. This map shows the seconds of delay that drivers experience at major intersections during rush hour in McLean, either when they're waiting for a light to turn green or yielding to other road users, according to the traffic model. Delay results are often organized into level of service or LOS grades from A to F to simplify. You can see there are 3 stop-controlled intersections with high delay, shown as red and orange squares at Ingleside Avenue, Park Avenue, and Old Dominion Drive, Holmes Place, Hampton Hill Circle, and Old Dominion Drive, and Davidson Road and Chainbridge Road. Signalized intersections are shown as circles. According to VDOT data from 2018, average daily traffic on the 3 main roads in McLean is 34,000 on Dolly Madison Boulevard, 18,000 on Old Dominion Drive, and 23,000 on Chainbridge Road. 4 bus routes currently serve the McLean CBC, including the Fairfax Connector Route 721 and Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority routes 23A and T and 15K. These routes connect the CBC to the McLean Metro Station and other destinations in Northern Virginia. Most bus stops have less than 75 people per day getting on or off, so that comes out to a few per hour. But bus stops serving the 721 and 23 along Old Dominion Drive have around 130 boardings and alightings per day. This data was also collected in May of 2018. The transportation analysis predicts that the proposed land use changes would produce a slight increase in rush hour trips compared to the current comprehensive plan. Consistent with the increase in residential units and decrease in commercial square footage, travel behavior would also shift to more classic commuting trips, out of the CBC in the morning and back in the evening. Our planners also used a travel demand model to forecast regional background traffic increases from trips that don't start or end in McLean. Those changes in demand are expected whether or not the proposed alternative land uses in McLean are built. The analysis also anticipates a moderate increase in demand for active transportation and transit trips from new CBC residents. The proposed addition of bikeable trails and wider sidewalks would make the McLean CBC more comfortable for pedestrians, transit users, and cyclists, which we expect more of under the proposed land uses. For more details about the proposed streetscape designs, you can watch the streetscape presentation. The proposed Redmond Drive realignment and Elm Street cul-de-sac would also improve vehicle operations. Please note that the Elm Street cul-de-sac would be achieved through redevelopment and would maintain access for pedestrians and cyclists. As part of the McLean CBC study, Fairfax County Department of Transportation submitted a transportation impact analysis to the Virginia Department of Transportation with proposed road improvements. The listed improvements are intended to accommodate the changes in future vehicle travel demand in McLean and were approved by VDOT in June 2020. The Westmoreland Street left turn lane can be added within the existing right-of-way by converting the through lane and adjusting signal timing. New traffic signals are also proposed at 3 intersections to reduce delay. These improvements would be built over time as needed. This map shows the delay results from the Transportation Impact Analysis report that was submitted to VDOT. You can see the 3 stop-controlled intersections from the existing conditions have changed to signalized intersections and are operating with much lower delay. The other road improvements from the last slide are not directly shown on the map, but they are factored into the traffic model that produced the results. Vehicle delays with both the proposed alternative land uses and the proposed transportation improvements from slides 8 and 9 are at an acceptable level, comparable to modeled future conditions under the current comprehensive plan. The signalized intersections at Valley Madison Boulevard and Old Dominion Drive and Chainbridge Road and Old Dominion Drive do operate at LOSE during the morning and evening peak respectively. The proposed McLean plan text encourages convenient on-street parking on local streets as well as on-street loading where appropriate. This would be similar to what exists in some parts of the CBC today, like Beverly Road, shown in the photo. The Fairfax County zoning ordinance currently requires developments to provide a minimum number of on-site parking spaces for residents and visitors, and sometimes loading spaces, based on the type of land use. Those regulations will continue to dictate parking and loading in McLean and would not be affected by this plan amendment. Developers will also continue to have flexibility to provide more parking spaces than the minimums or pursue minor reductions through zoning processes. So here are the high-level takeaways from the transportation plan. With several road improvements, acceptable vehicle traffic would be maintained. The addition of new sidewalks and trails and the widening of some existing ones would improve bicycle and pedestrian conditions significantly. Bus service would be unchanged. The WMATA or the Fairfax connector could always change service at a later date to better meet demand. And implementation of these transportation improvements would happen gradually through redevelopment and capital projects, not all at once. And thank you all for your time. And please send any comments you have to the email below and visit the McLean CBC website for more information. You can also send transportation-specific comments directly to either of these email addresses.